Hello, how is everybody doing? I know I started a couple minutes earlier because for once YouTube didn't give me any kind of grief. So I'm still waiting for it to start. Okay, there we go. As I said, there are a few, like, I don't know, 20 seconds delays. Hi, Sonia. And I was really worried that I wouldn't be able to do a proper live because for the last hour, Finnegan has been zooming all over the house. And I was worried that he wouldn't stop, but finally he got worn out and is sleeping now. Anyway, I hope that you can see well. I don't need to get anything lighter, brighter. And we are going to actually finish this, and I'm going to show you again a few more tips on how to work with this. And as I said, everything is nicely patinaed. So the first thing that needs to be done, obviously, is to put some hi Judy, hi Elaine, to put some bacon bond on the base, because as I said, you need to have a base prepared, already baked for it. So let's get this done. Hi Joan. No, you didn't. Yeah, kittenhood. I see word creations. Yeah, all kittens, I think that all kittens have a certain degree of ADHD. And generally speaking, with Finnegan, he's so stubborn that when he really is keen on doing something, he will not respond to discipline most of the time. And the only way that I can make him stop doing what he shouldn't be doing is to find something that would be more appealing to him, you know, and get him off of whatever it is there. I mean, he was so bad, and he was actually pestering Seamus a lot. Okay, now let me see. I am going to place pieces of these on the cuff. And remember, these ones were done on a 4. Not on a 4, on a 6, pretty much, on the machine, because I did not want to make the whole bracelet too thick. So I'm going to cut this here. And if I'm going to need more pieces, I'm going to just whip them up really fast. So, and yeah, we are going to lose some of this. It's not going like it's going to be perfect, but you need to make sure that you don't trap any air underneath here. Let me do a primary trim, roll trim, so I can move this around. And I think that here I'm going to use a ripple blade. There we go. Hi Gladys, thank you. Did I say hi Joan? I hope I did. Okay, now on this side, I'm going to select some of this, but I want to get it, so this is my width. So hey, I didn't cut very well. Okay, now I'm going to match this. Properly here. And I don't want all of this to happen at the same time, so just a second. I thought I brought all the cutters I needed, but apparently I didn't. I'm going to get one of these. You can get a round one or whatever feels the best for you. And I'm going to use this not to cut but to define a line. And I will use the X-Acto knife. To do the proper cut. I'm going to put it face down because it's got the bacon bond on it. And again, a fairly rough trim. I said before I was supposed to go to Hobby Lobby to get another rigid blade, but I never got there before the quarantine started, and now I cannot get it. Okay, now let's grab this. This is wide enough. And let's do, I use this one. I'm going to use it here as well. There we go. I don't know, do they do online stuff? Even if they are closed? Okay, here it's not perfect. So as you can see, I am practically collaging all these pieces. And let me see. No, this doesn't work good. Let me try and find another cutter. Alright, I think that this should work good. Yeah, I know that before they used to do it. I guess I'll just have to go ahead and try and see if they will. Because that's the only place that I could find a proper good rigid blade. Everything else that's, I mean, except for the long one from Tiny Pandora's, everything else that was touted as good rigid blade was actually not. Okay, now I'm going to trim this straight. Then place this straight. Let's do this side better. And yes, you'll have enough left to do a pendant if you want, or earrings. Okay, let's put this back here. And get the line. I keep losing my X-Acto knife. I lost it again. Oh, it's here. No, that's okay. I'll go and get one. And get yeah, it always helps when you cut with a proper. And then one more thing to do is to place this spot here. And okay, I didn't trim work here. I did a boo-boo. It is fixable though. So make sure that you press only on one end, not on both. I'm getting all kinds of little threads off. And because your clay is colored on top, make sure that you hide well the cuts, because the sides of the clay will be a different color. And now we are going to be able to do something else on top of this. And as you can see, those pigments are super strong. They still come off until I bake the clay. Okay, now it's time to start actually refining the whole thing. First of all, make sure that everything is well joined together at the seams. You don't have any empty spots. And your first thing will be, first of all, clean the tile, and then gently, very gently, do a little bit of pressing so everything will come together. Then I prefer to use one of these cane benders because it's a much smaller roller, and gently fold on the edges. No worries if you remove some of the pigment, because you can come afterwards and apply some more. But again, very careful not to have the joints separate. So you come from the front towards the side. And I'm not gonna trim yet. I have to do the ends as well. But you can see how that beigeish piece of scrap, how much it looks like leather. Now if I got both sides, again checking one more time to make sure I have everything nicely together, I will go like this on both ends. And then I can start removing the extra. And let's do the ends. Again, on the ends, if you just go with the roller, because at this point you can force the clay to do it for you. If you just go with the roller going inwards, nice and careful, when you do this, the clay is going to fall off, the extra clay, and you have a perfect edge. Let's do the same here. And then I'm going to do the same thing for the edges of the bracelet. So see how I'm coming from the outside going in. And now I can come and simply remove the extra clay just by rubbing the roller against the inside edge of the back. Okay, one edge is done. Hi Janine, and I hope that people who live in the south, like in Louisiana and Alabama and Georgia, didn't have problems with the tornadoes last evening, because I know it was rough. I was watching. There were at any time at least one tornado warning in Louisiana. It was really scary. Okay, there's gonna be a lot of little bits and pieces. Okay, then we are going to kind of punk it a little bit. Yeah. Did you have issues last night with the storms, Elaine? Did they come to your neck of the woods? And I don't really care if you can see that there's a seam there, because obviously it's a collage. So, but I do this so that I wouldn't get any empty space between the two edges. Okay, now on top of this I can actually do some more stuff if I want to, but before I do anything else, as I said, let's punk it a little bit. And to punk it, let me see, do I want this? Yes, I want this. I'm going to take just a piece of that beigeish thing. Actually, I have some completely unadulterated. And I'm going to first get me a string. It was adulterated on my hands, but that's fine. And of course, if you cannot make strings like I do, you can always use the extruder. But as I showed before, with a small acrylic block, hold on one end and then just move downwards. And then you'll obtain a perfectly even string. And I'm going to cut it here because you cannot do it like forever in length, and it would be very hard to manipulate it. Alright, so now I have a string here, and let me grab my gum tool. Usually works just wonders, and I'm going to make holes at pretty much equal distances. On both sides of the seam here. Okay. Hi Sharon. How's spring in Alaska? Actually need my, where's my needle? Always, as I said, I'm working on so much stuff that I'm getting at a loss. And if you're going to say, why don't you do just one thing and finish it? Because it would be wasting time actually, because while something is getting baked or I can do something else. I still need my, here's my needle. And I can get something that actually needs to, like a surface effect, needs to dry, you know. I know this is a little bit more time consuming, but the effect is really neat. So see how I'm going in a zigzag? It looks better than if you go straight. And of course you can come on top of it and do an X. lacing. Okay, you stay there. And you don't have to do on each joint this. I'm just doing this to give you an idea of how it would look like. You can use other colors as well, of course. And I have one more to place here because it comes from the other side. Okay, so now we got this all stitched. Looks good, huh? And we can make, in another spot, we can put rivets, right? So let me grab some of that silvery stuff. Thank you, Sonia. It's gonna be even prettier. You'll see here in a minute. So I'm going to make little clay balls. And I'm first kind of stringing them up so I can cut even. As I said, I keep losing my X-Acto knife. Alright, I have these. I'm gonna make little balls. And I took away my little... No, I didn't. I have this old screwdriver that's been chewed by Whisper when he was still a pup. Before I figured out what he was so busy with. This is what he did. He was teething. His molars were coming up. Glad he didn't manage to eat any of that, you know. So I'm going to gently place them here. I said we are kind of steampunking the whole thing. Not steampunk, but it's a punk, because I explained before what are the differences between steampunk, clockwork punk, and so on. And then I'm taking this small screwdriver because I want them to look like screws. Okay, this looks good. And there's one more thing I can do if I have enough. Let me see. I do. Let me grab a small heart here. And you can do that with other little shapes. But before I put it up, because I said it's going to look even prettier, what I'm going to do with it, and you can use acrylics, but you know how much I love the Art Alchemy waxes. So I'm going to use some of them. I don't want to make this color it up too much, so let me see. I think if I put some goldish reddish stuff here, it would look pretty. So I'm going to use the vintage silk here. Not a lot, again, I don't want to do too much of it, so very, very, very little, and very delicately. Okay, wasn't supposed to stop. Just a few touches of this, because it's going to give it some extra shine. Then of course, if I want my screws to look good, I need to put a little bit of silver or iron on them. I'm trying to find it. Oh, I forgot, I took because I wasn't able to close my old silver, and I had to move the whole thing in a different jar. So I'm going to place a little bit on my screws here. Then another color that I can use very prettily, and I'm going to use here, will be some green brocade. Notice that I'm using the Opal Magic line, not the more colorful ones, because there's a huge difference. I'm going to use a colorful one on this, but for right now I'm going to use some green brocade here, because it just gives it. Remember, this is a transparent wax, so it will show only when you move the thing around. And not on just everything, and here I think I can use some, let's see, let's use the purplish, pinkish, greenish. This is the Royal Robes. And as I said, I'm just barely touching this. And then the final touch, and I think I'm going to use, let me see what color would look the best. Accent. I don't think purple. Let me see. The mint, maybe. Yes, this would work great. So this is one of the colors that are in the metallic line. And yes, you can get these, it's best to get them from PolyClay because they are cheaper than Amazon, but if you don't, so what I would suggest is just wait, because with PolyClay I always wait until I get enough budget to get $100 worth of stuff, because that way I get the free shipping. And the link to PolyClay with my affiliate is in the video description. And these ones are still a little transparent, but not as transparent as the Opal Magic ones. So this will be the last thing. And of course you can insert some charms if you want. That's not a problem. So let's place this little heart here. let's place it here. It's better here. Because you can place collage on top of collage, but this is pretty much it. All I need to do now is to, let me try again to show you better. Let me make this lighter, brighter, with more natural color. No, it doesn't work. Hold on. Let me try and change the color. Okay, this is natural daylight. So, and this works beautiful. This style of stuff works absolutely fabulous when you do decorative objects, like for, let's say, photo frames, for boxes. And as you can see, there are different effects in all those patinas, and it just makes everything look beautiful. Maybe I should place something here too, maybe a flower or something, but I'm gonna have to, hold on, let me grab a flower cutter. And actually on this one the green doesn't work. Let's do a pink, a hotish pink, because it will bring out the color that's in the crevices. Because here it was pretty much an empty spot. So there we go. And as I said, these work beautiful when you try to do photo frames, boxes, and the difference in color is enough. You can go bolder, but what I suggest to you, what I noticed in my experience, what I noticed, this look very nice. You can do a fabric effect and try mixing like a denim. And by the way, the waxes actually have a denim color. No, this is peacock. Hold on. Let me find the denim. Because in the new colors of the waxes, there is denim. Or Blue Lagoon, but all denim. There we go. And I'm going to show it to you on a piece of this. But in order to obtain this, get a cheesecloth. Before you do anything else, I mean after you do everything else, get a cheesecloth and gently place it on to give it a little bit of texture, and then when you come with the wax, it's going to give it a fabric type texture. And I would suggest that you do that using, again, one of your scrap clays. And then you can use a combination, and once again, you can use acrylic paints for this. You don't have to use necessarily these waxes, metallic acrylic paints, and you can even use the color shift paints, and it will look beautiful. But you can give it a fabric look, like it's stitched out of pieces of fabric. This is more of a leather look. Or you can use the more metallic look. I added up the pretty much most of the stamps that I used here. I added them up in the influencer store, there was one that I couldn't find anymore, that it was not available anymore. And I told you that's the problem with the various Chinese companies that make the clear silicone stamps, that they come and go. But for the other ones, they weren't available. I managed to find them with other sellers, but not for just everything. And you can see, as I said, you don't have to use the more expensive materials that I used here. You can definitely get this with the chalk pastels that are like $6 for a box of at least 12 colors. And you can use the simple acrylic paints that are a little bit over $1 for a bottle. But yeah, this is polymer clay collage. And it's fun. You've seen it's a lot of fun to do something like this. And I've shown you 3 different effects last time. So I'm going back to finish cleaning the house because I had to get myself interrupted because Whisper wanted to play with a laser. If you go look on Facebook on my profile, I posted. I had to interrupt my vacuuming, so I guess he did have a UTI. That's why he was having problems. And he's completely recovered after antibiotic. And now he's just pestering me that he wants to play. So I'm super happy about it. So I will see you all Sunday, and hopefully I'll start catching up with my back not pestering me so bad anymore. But today I do need to get on doing a little bit of cleaning because all last week I followed my doctor's advice, and most of what I did was to lay down on the couch and allow the calcium to get on my bones. So okay, thank you so much for being here. Don't forget the thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you just found the channel. And see you next Sunday. Thank you. I love you all. Goodbye.